Good afternoon. Councillor McNary sends his regrets. I will call to order the regular council meeting for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Is there any public input? As the meeting is open to statements from no more than 5 members of the public and no more than 2 minutes in length each.
No, I answered that the last meeting.
Okay, any late additions or deletions? Councillor Aiken.
I would just like to add here new business, just a discussion around how we get advice on getting that out to the public on how to deal with the beer problem, because I think it's not going anywhere. And it would be nice for us to sort of provide information to the public on one way or another how to best handle problem.
Okay, I put it under 17.1. And then do you want to move that the September 16th regular council meeting agenda be adopted as amended? Councillor Aiken and seconded by Councillor Reid. All in favor? Carried. Okay, public or statutory hearings and no delegations. So before we move the consent agenda, if anyone wishes to remove any of the correspondence items, please raise your hand. But I would like to remove a 7.1.4. So I'll just put that under new business as 17.2. And will somebody please move the remainder of the consent agenda items? Councillor Reid, Councillor Plan, all in favor? Carried. Okay, correspondence that the CAO or manager of public works replied to the email request for information from Mrs. Duncan regarding the capital projects. Yeah, could you speak to that?
Yeah, thank you through the mayor. A fantastic opportunity. I'm very happy to see that I have reached out on 2 separate occasions, not hearing back thus far, which I can place another phone call on today. So as soon as I get information back on this, I'll report back into council. But yeah, anyone that's wanting to look at any sort of capital upgrades and expenditures on what we're doing up the airport, I'm more than keen to do it. Obviously, last month, we received some fantastic publicity from Nissan, working up there and doing advertisement up there, which is absolutely fantastic for the community. There were over 100 people from that television advertisement stunt up there working in the community, staying in the hotels, RVs, using all of our community. So any opportunity that we have to expand and develop our airport, then we'd be absolutely thrilled to do that. I also understand that Justin Trudeau has used their airport once.
I have heard that.
So it gets used by some fairly large stars, and that's nice to hear. So yeah.
So she puts in here including overnight lighting that didn't seem to appear. And I know that overnight lighting has been a cause. It's come up a couple of times with the ambulance, because if we had overnight lighting, then we could transport people out by air ambulance. So, but I understand that the lighting is very expensive too.
Yep.
So is that ever on a capital list or?
Through the mayor, it's not something that I've seen on our capital list yet. It's certainly something that I think that we could go after a grant for. I think it's one of the things that I would like to go after, some sort of emergency relief grants. Maybe in the coming years, looking at the strategic priorities fund or looking at alternative uses or alternative fundings for. I think that would be something that we would welcome.
Just with our jurisdiction and you're being closed like that, now it'd be definitely going to be.
I think it's value, definitely, it's value to it.
Thank you. Okay, Councillor Aiken?
Through the mayor, I'm just curious if we could get in contact with the actual providers of their ambulance service and see what the requirements they have for bringing a plane into our airport. Maybe we're missing something here that they can provide that might help us. focus our energies.
Yeah, the conversation thus far is working alongside BC Wildfire. So working alongside the BC Wildfire, so when they have, so for various different times of the year, BC Wildfire will actually hire the airport. You know, they'll kind of take over from us and just utilize it. So maybe it's something that we can work with very closely with the provincial government. If BC Wildfire were to move up that direction and move closer there, then it's one of the things that we can maybe work in partnership with them on and say, you know, we're the landowner, we'd be willing to work with the BC province to kind of do something to see what different improvements we have, and then look at our small fixed wing airplanes versus our rotary helicopters and such, and see what they all specifically need. So more than happy to look at that.
Through the mayor, just going back to the Nissan commercial and everything, when the mayor and I were at UBCM in 2023, we stopped by the motion picture community initiative thing stand there, and there is a database for towns, municipalities to update as to what they have for, it's sort of like database where the commercials for movies and everything checked to see what things I just wanted to know, has ours been updated at any time there? I think back then,
Back then.
yeah, well, yeah, 2 years ago, yeah. Yeah, but, yeah, there was a conversation about, there is a database that they sort of recommend to kind of keep updated. But yeah, it's the motion picture community initiative.
I know that I'm aware of, but when we're at UBCM next week, we should
Yeah.
take them at lunch.
Yes, I have a very nice,
Yeah, if you've got that, then it's absolutely, let's be with them at UBCM.
Yeah.
We'll get her updated. Okay.
I'm not sure if this relates to the letter there, but, I always thought there'd be an opportunity to expand sort of the residences of the airport. I'm not sure if that's an opportunity or not, but I'm sure there's pilots out there who'd love to have a place that they could basically live on an airport. I don't know, that's just me thinking outside the box, but
Yeah, through the mayor, I think there is a couple of properties there, some of them are within the ALR, there was a couple up there for sale that are unfortunately not able to be subdivided just due to planning restrictions and not having the right law alignments, and then also having a higher level of actually cutting arsenic in the basin water there. We were approached last year from a gentleman that looked to try and put up a couple of hangars up there and look at some alternatives for living opportunities to kind of have a kind of gang hut, so they say, like his own hangar with a couple of like a 1-2 bedroom above it. So if people want to look at these opportunities, by all means, we're more than to look into these things and see what we want to do and see how to best accommodate it. I know we don't have water and sewer across there, but we shouldn't. I mean, there's still lots of houses and homes over there that figure it out. So we would welcome it. And then another notice that within the agenda package, there was also another film crew looking to come to town very soon. So we'll be
The one I
them,
told.
where we're looking at them as well.
Okay. Will somebody please move that the CAO or manager of public works reply to the email request for information from Ms. Duncan regarding capital projects at Lowell Airport, and that the correspondence item request for update on 2021 airport capital project study be received. Councillor Weed, Councillor Plant, all in favor? Carried. Okay, 9.1, appointment of chief financial officer. Two.
It's me, yeah. Okay, do I take the stand or?
Yes.
Okay.
You were thinking about opportunities to get.
Yeah, I think, well, we'll stand up, we'll do the oath and I'm sure. Darrell, what is Darrell has came from?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm originally from Toronto area, Mississauga. My last place of employment was in Saskatchewan.
And as per the community charter, it would be appropriate that we would now remove the title and designation and vote from Patricia. She's still going to remain with us, kind of behind the scenes a little bit as well, just to kind of help Daryl get his feet under the desk. And again, we have still, as early as today, we're still in contact with Joni. She still phones me on the odd occasion, mostly just to laugh at me after my dirt bike accidents, but she also does phone just for some reminders as well. So we do have that kind of background, that kind of back check for us as well. But like it's appropriate, we'll look at it and what we have here and look for analysis.
Do I have to raise my hand?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Do I actually speak? Yeah. Okay, oath of office for the District of Lillooet. I, Daryl McCrudden, have been appointed to the office of Chief Financial Officer for the District of Lillooet. Do hereby promise and swear solemnly affirm that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, execute the powers, duties, and functions of my office. I will treat all matters and information that come to my attention as a result of my office in confidence. I have not received, nor will I receive or accept any payment or reward or promise of either in return for the exercise of my powers, duties, and functions, other than as permitted by the district. I will not allow my personal interest to conflict with the duties of my office, and I will comply with all policies and directives of the District of Lillooet and comply with all laws.
Thank you. Okay, will somebody please move that Daryl McCrudden be appointed as the District of Lillooet's Chief Financial Officer? Counselor Weave, Counselor Aiken, all in favor? Carried. Welcome to the team.
Okay, thanks for having me, and I will endeavor to do my best.
Take a quick picture.
Which is, okay, all right.
Oh, we need an action picture.
I don't know if we're gonna. I'll see what's doing.
There we go.
Do you look up? Does he look where he's writing?
Done? Okay, all right, and I need a witness.
I can witness unless, do you want to witness? Does it matter?
Wait till you see how she photoshops.
Yeah,
You did it well.
you need to take a peek at color.
Sometimes.
Oh, that was
That was
Joni.
Joni.
Oh, was that
Joni's
Joey?
Photoshop.
Hi.
This one's. Thank you, Council.
Okay. All right, moving on to bylaws and resolutions. We are back to 11.1 animal control. So we had, where did we leave off? Counselor Weave, you had a question,
I did,
comment.
through the mayor. I don't know how to explain what page I'm on here. So number 4 on page 31.
Oh, yes, we're going back through the, to the committee of the whole agenda because that's where it is information. So it was page 31 of 57, correct?
57,
Yes.
number 4, where it says, based on the table in the bylaws, someone with 0.5 hectare, 1.2 acre lot could have up to 30 backyard hens, but only 2 turkeys or ducks. Is that as well as the 30 hens or include up the 30 hens?
Through the mayor, it would be in addition to, so in the table, like if you're
Yeah,
0.4 hectare. Where my head is at. Yeah. 0 to 1 hectare, basically, you can have up to 30 chickens. You can also have 2 livestock, which could be a horse, 2 horses, 2 goats, a goat and a donkey, or it could be 2 turkeys or 2 quail or doves. And that distinction, like, so this would be a council decision, but you could allow people to have up to 6 poultry in like the rural or in the more urban areas. But I can't remember if it was a council decision in the past, but I thought that we wanted to keep that to just chickens and rabbits only. But instead of excluding other poultry entirely, the idea was just to wrap it into the general definition of livestock. So if somebody wanted to have 2 pigeons or something that they're raising, it would just fall under the same table as the rest of livestock. But yeah, you could have, if you are 1 hectare to 1.5 hectare, you could have your 3 livestock. plus up to 75 chickens.
Thank you for the clarification.
And if you were more than 2 hectares, I'd just like to say 2 hectares actually is 5 acres. You could have, if you were over that, you could have unlimited, which uses the word unlimited. So, CAO, did we come up with a word for, so over 5 acres or over 2 hectares? How many? What's our limit? Are we gonna have unlimited or are we gonna have something more defining? Can we say, can be over 200 and under 350? I don't know.
I think 30 chickens is a lot, so.
But if you've got a chicken farm, you might have 1,000. I don't know.
We want to do 4. Or we want to do 4 plus 2 reasonably attractive to do up to practical, or it's one we choose to use.
Yeah, through the mayor, so threw this together a minute ago, that might not be refined yet, but this is one idea, to say no upper limit, but subject to the capacity of the land and any existing provincial legislation or regulations regarding the care and keeping of animals, including livestock. Because I'm pretty sure there are provincial,
Yeah.
like there's not only the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, there's probably farm. I mean, this isn't meant to limit farm animals anyway, like for our farm business, but I don't know, if whatever provincial rules there are on keeping of livestock probably apply to anyone keeping livestock.
Right.
I don't know in detail what those are, but that kind of is just a blanket statement saying that.
And none of that would apply to the ALR.
No, if you're keeping livestock for an agricultural or farm use, then this wouldn't apply.
Right, okay.
Provincial ALC regulations don't apply.
Councillor Khan, are you good with that statement?
Can we read it one more time?
Yes.
And yeah, and I'm happy to have it changed, but what I suggested was no upper limit, but subject to the capacity of the land and any existing provincial legislation or regulations regarding the care and keeping of animals, including livestock.
Good, yeah.
Okay. Councillor Khan?
Just a question going back to. Now we're talking livestock. I have a small problem with quail, et cetera, being put in livestock. A quail is like this big, and if you're saying you can only have 2 quail on your property, and quail have actually become, I guess, very, very popular. I think just about everybody who has got chickens now is doing quails and selling the little quail eggs. So having turkeys, I can sort of understand because you don't want 30 turkeys, but still they're that big. But and then I loved how we added in emus and ostriches. Like that was they're big birds. I can understand that one. I really liked that one.
There was one on Main Street a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's been there.
He's been around for a while.
Recognized.
But yeah, just putting quails in there, and then turkeys is kind of. They're all fowl. Yeah, and the
What
only
is your suggestion?
I would like the birds put back in with birds. I don't consider quail livestock.
Through the mayor, can I suggest we amend the definition of small livestock, instead of just being backyard hens or rabbits, also add quail, maybe doves and pigeons too?
Doves.
I don't know if it's a thing, but or just quail.
Through the mayor, I actually was considering that as well with the pigeons, but then thinking if somebody is racing pigeons, you have 30 pigeons in the backyard, the cooing of those pigeons bring me back my roosters, because the pigeons would be way louder than being allowed to have one little
Same
rooster.
with the doves.
Same.
And the doves, yeah,
Yeah, like, yeah, we'll just add quails.
yeah.
Oh, I'm approving.
Anything that doesn't speak.
Right. Any further comments? Go ahead.
Just a comment, I just want to thank staff. I can tell that they listened to council suggestions, and there was a lot of work put into redoing it and bringing in the chicken bylaw and the bee bylaw and everything else. And I appreciate the work there and listening to especially my nitpicking.
Yeah, good job. Especially for her. Okay, one more?
No, it was just, I really liked the font too. I'm a font person, so I just want to know what the font was at some point.
Okay, so will somebody please move that the animal control bylaw 2025-027 be read a second time as amended?
Or if I may, through the mayor, if those are the only changes suggested, as I wasn't sure if there'd be more discussion or more topics, we could do second reading and third reading, including the
Okay.
bylaw, like just mentioning those changes, so changing the definition of small livestock, changing the unlimited to the sentence. And was that it?
I think that was it. I didn't bring back.
Yeah, and then we can just bring it back for
The final?
Adopt.
Okay, all right. Again, will somebody please move that the animal control bylaw 2025-027 be read a second and third time as amended? And that the fees and charges bylaw number 2021-003, amending bylaw number 9, bylaw number 2025-028 be read a second and third time. Could be amended that, would we? And that the bylaw notice enforcement bylaw number 2021-02002, amendment bylaw number 2025-029 be read a second and third time. I believe that was amended either. So just that. Councillor Weed, Councillor Plant, all in favor? Carried.
Thanks, Council.
Good job. Okay. Okay, any unfinished business or notice of motions? Seeing none. Fairly short one. Okay, good news. We have 3 new PRA positions in Lillooet. They just arrived last week. We have, we did find them 2 rental housing options, so I'm looking for 1 more if anybody knows any. I have heard that through the grapevine, we may have 1 more coming in December, PRA, but that is unconfirmed. Dr. Samat is leaving in March, so that's going to be a big loss too. Tammy Urin, she is the new Divisions BC representative for the area. And Tammy and I are meeting with all 3 physicians in early October, and we'll then set them up with the members of the rural recruitment and retention team that we created. So we've got baskets for all of them. Yeah,
And you, sir, can I ask you, through
sure.
the mayor, any resolution on that, there was a doctor from Libya who given his driver's license with,
That was in a closed meeting and, no. So other than that, I've been working on UBCM and, Counselor Plan, Aiken Weed and CAO Joe and myself will be attending next week. So that is it for me. Oh, and our resolution that we did put in, that was regarding the ARC studies, came into the resolution book as endorsed block. So I was sad that I wouldn't get to speak to it because I know Lytton wanted to speak to it and other communities wanted to speak to it as well. But they put it in the endorsed block and there's about, I don't know, a chunk of resolutions that they just endorse as one and nobody gets to speak to it. So I was sad to hear that, but that is it for me. So Councillor Aiken.
For me, Sunday, I took part in the Terry Fox run. My mother and her friends and me, someone helped organize it. Yeah, it was a pretty good turnout there and, we raised over 1,600 for it, so. Yeah, it really makes me feel good about this community to help that many people come out and support something that's been going on for so long. One of our best Canadians, I think, so one of these days we'll get a space or build or something, I'm hoping, but,
Yeah, it's good.
and I also attended a webinar on outdoor recreation for community and economic development, which was an hour-long webinar, but some of the information that came out of it was, yeah, it's good. There's different communities that are doing things that maybe we can tap into, so I'll be pursuing that a bit more there. And one thing I did see on the heritage thing there was that's under the Ministry of Forests and Heritage, right? He was actually at Lytton talking about the revamping the Heritage Act, which maybe that goes towards our council, hopefully, but wouldn't be holding my breath on that one. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councillor Flynn?
No, got nothing.
What?
Got nothing. I know.
Councillor Weed?
Just getting everybody else to catch up.
I did a Zoom meeting with NDIT. And it was basically, they've changed some of their legislation and updated some of their programs. They did ask each one of us, instead of doing a highlight on what's going on in our community, now at the end of their agendas, they have a question and they'd like us to answer it all the time. So the big one was, what kind of a program could they come up with to help small business or industry within your community? So the big ones that came out of that discussion were maybe grants to help with security because of theft and vandalism and so on and so forth, so that they could either hire security or have extra lighting or cameras or whichever. And they are really looking into camp work and how to have facilities. I'm assuming it's happening all over BC, so how to have facilities that through a grant, if they can come up with a way to do it, that the camp would be stationary and just used by different workers coming in. Now, they haven't really narrowed in on what they would do, but that was kind of, yeah, they've got a pilot project going right now, but it's basically just APCO trailers and things, so they're gonna see how that comes out. But I was hoping the chamber, someone would be here from the chamber tonight, so because they would be more in touch with the businesses in town. So I'll reach out to them. Other than that, we approved our final money spending for the year. And set dates for the 4 meetings next year, and 2 will be on Zoom and 2 will be in person. And that is it. I've been going through the resolutions book.
Good.
That's a really good.
I just choked it up there. Dale?
Thank you to the mayor. A couple of things. Terry Fox, it looks like Terry Fox will appear on the 2027 manual.
Oh.
I think it's either the 5 or the 50. Just anecdote, there you go. So I hear there's meant to be on in 2024, but that never happened. He's meant to be on in 2027. Nothing to do with my CEO report. I'm not aware of. I haven't done that personally. We have a new economic development officer starting with us. He's going to be working as a Christian who used to work up in the Pegla Council, left the Pegla as their operations director to go out on his own. And we have subcontracted him to the end of the year to look at economic development and to steer a lot of our council to council initiatives and what we're doing and working in the background. So he's going to be doing that. Accepted that employment offer on Monday. He will be working directly with the SLRT and with us moving forward. So that'll be another announcement to come up, and he will be working on the initiatives for council and also for the SLRT and a lot of the other initiatives we talked about. So that's really exciting news, really big news. I've kind of kind of scaled down a little bit of the kind of reporting, just purely because a lot of the stuff I was doing was becoming quite repetitive. So I just kind of put week of the 25th week of September, use my usual kind of meetings. We're still working with labour relations, we're still working on grant applications, council approved, or gave a resolution for the strategic priorities fund from the provincial government. They phoned this week and asked for a meeting in person with us at UBCM, which is fantastic. A really good opportunity for council to meet who these people are. And also work with a lot of that staff. So I'm very, very excited to have the opportunity to meet with some of those staff. I've known a lot of these staff members for 10 years, and a lot of the people that do these grant applications, write grant applications for the province, are, in my opinion, are fantastic people, fantastic stewards for the provincial government. And to see 10 years ago, and I'm just giving the gentleman a plug, his name is Laird. He's one of the provincial staff members that works diligently on this and has actually received premier awards in the past. I know that he and I 10 years ago went into fire halls and looked at grant applications, and then eventually this year that's actually coming through. So a huge shout out to some of these people that do these grant applications. It's a very, very difficult job to scale down those applications, those grant applications. So a huge shout out to them. We'll just keep running down the list, I suppose. We have meetings and community engagement. I had another CEO engagement this week, very successful. We still had 3 people through the doors with it. So very happy with that. Public works are working just now on a couple of things. Predominantly what they're working on, and I wish Councillor McNary was here, predominantly what we're working on just now is our water source application with Interior Health for Old Town Creek. We are up there just now cleaning out 1,000,000-gallon reservoir. So we have divers up there just now that are working on the clean out operations. So every couple of years, we just completed the Town Creek Reservoir. We've done a clean out on that. We are working through every couple of years going in and just clearing out sediment at the bottom of it. It's part of an interior health application. It's also part of our interior health permit. So we need to work our way through that. I previously worked with Diana, and Diane was our permit holder, our permit go-to for interior health. I worked with her in Sycamus. I'm very pleased to hear that Sycamus operations is held as the kind of gold standard of interior health water permitting and how it's operating. I put that down to Daryl Sunlord and the team there and their whole operations team. They're phenomenal people. So she's also the same person I've worked with for the last couple of years. So she was really happy. Eldon and I met with today. A number of smaller projects to the side, obviously in preparation for the schools team going back. White lines getting painted, stop lights getting checked, running around, just doing the day-to-day operations. We did discover a small leak, a small water leak behind Dawson. So we were starting to see water flooding out there. We tested it. It was chlorinated water, which indicates that it's not a spring, it's our water leak somewhere. So we're working on that. A couple of other things you will see getting done just now. There are a number of small water leaks that we have in town. Our public walkrooms at the back of Downton Park has a leak in it, so we're working on that, doing some archaeology down there. And Public Works have just been going through the day-to-day kind of staff, and they're working their way through the processes of cleaning up, kind of filing down from summer down to the kind of August cleanup, September cleanups, kind of starting to winterize a lot of things, blowing out irrigations the next 3-4 weeks, tidying up, cleaning. So working our way through that and then starting to get ready for some of our winter operations. Things like that are starting to get geared up. A little bit fire department. The Lillywhite Fire Department have had a busier than expected month. There's been a lot going on this month. There's been a lot going on very quietly and silently. Again, hats off to Darren Oike, who we met with this morning, first thing this morning at 8 o'clock. We sometimes still regularly meet with Darren about our emergency operations centre. We're gearing up. We've received our new laptops. They've all now got to be put online. We transferred our operations, logistics, finance, media all back onto our new computers and new laptops. We are finalising our emergency procedures and our kind of our booklets. So we have booklets for council, we have booklets for staff that you can basically just run through as a step 1, step 2, step 3 in the process. We're really happy to see that. But then the fire department themselves have been going through a number of different training exercises, doing a fantastic job, and it's not very often that you just get to see this, but doing a great job and saving lives. They have, on a number of occasions this month, saved lives. I know of a couple personally that managed to go and do so. Phenomenal. They get really quiet about it, but they do a phenomenal job. We got our new Starlink in today as well. So Corey, Danny, Darren Oike, and myself were in there this morning uploading our new Starlink. And then a couple of the ones, one of the top ones there there was a small fire at the side of the track. Kind of sparked off, and that was in August the 26th. Where a small fire had kind of came out and seemed to be human caused. It certainly wasn't a trade that caused it. It was just a small fire. We're thinking it may have been a cigarette. I'm not sure. It just shows how dry we are, how vulnerable. There was a couple of small MVAs, or motor vehicle accidents, motor vehicle incidents at the bottom of the hill. That's now the third time that's happened in this community in the last year. So we've now asked the Ministry of Transportation to look into that junction and start having a little look at sight lines and what the problems are. I've also nearly been hit there on my motorcycle. I don't know why, but that corner does seem to be a particularly bad corner, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, other than when you go down, it just seems a little bit congested and sight lines. So I know that that's is up for conversation with MOTTI as it's called. Yeah. They're working on fire prevention and public education on 21st. They have done a number of attendees over at the farmers market, very appreciative of. Fire Smart came to our last council meeting, which is brilliant, and emergency management are also looking for specific training. And we will reach out to Caroline and see what other opportunities we have, because if we can kind of shed that load or get those people involved, and we can do training, we'll get them involved somehow, something more than happy with that. Okay. There's some of the stats, some of the logistical side of what we're doing. We've got our new well, we always kind of go through these kind of cycles where we take old cans away, bring in our new air compressors and get them all tested out. Our fire truck is getting closer, and then Corey phones me every 2 weeks, gets a little bit more excited about it. We had a big party with me this year. Community engagement bylaw this week or this month really stepped up. We've been working on a number of properties. Again, hard to kind of look at some of the properties that we have looked at. This came from one yard. There was a number of cleanup operations at the back of the yard. I've asked him to start taking some more photographs just so that we can show council on some of the things that he's doing. He's been very active over the last month on some of the pursuits that he's been going through. And I think that's kind of starting to get reflected. Pictures in the report do show some of the, and I'm going to say this, some of the 75 bags that were removed from that property. One property will use 75 bags, and they also still have 3 to 6 of these vehicles in the ground. So we're working our way through on some of this stuff that we're getting there with them. And again, it's one of these things that we look at very seriously, very closely. Bylaw does have an immense amount of leverage because he reports to me that we do go down and we're trying to talk through these things and do education rather than just doing fines. Rather than just trying to hit people with punitive fines, we do try and do education with people. We do try and educate people to make sure that they're aware of what updates we're doing. Okay. Building planning and development, obviously the council are very aware that we're running through our zoning. We're kind of bringing that to a close, which is fantastic. I think we're getting very, very close with that. And Kayvon's not here tonight, just need to end here tonight, there's nothing on the agenda for him, but he is looking at a number of different applications that are getting brought forward. He's very, very busy just now, which is fantastic. And he is signing off the permanent team, which is absolutely brilliant. Okay, Senator, we don't have a full schedule, never came through on time, but we are working our way through all of the kind of summer camps, day camps, skate chills. Our new recreation manager is teaching hockey and is on the ice, I think, probably as we speak right now. After the closure or the BC hydro outage, we were, and I'm going to not scare everybody when I say this, but I am going to say we were 2 hours away today from having to close the rink permanently for the next 3-4 days because we were losing ice because our systems were all shut down properly, but then didn't restart accurately. So we were having major problems today. There was a lot going on behind the scenes today, but we managed to recover that. And it's all good. So these are the kind of planning things that you work on every day. There are some good things like new fire trucks coming in and getting new satellites and getting bylaw up and going. But as you're doing one department, something else is running away at it.
Just talking about the power outage, with us putting out the notice for no water use, did we check to see how did that go?
Yeah, I had it as a kind of talking note as well. It went well. I think it went really well. I think had that have been in August, I think we would have had to have probably done a stage 2. I think where we were with things, I actually drove back into town at midnight and drove around town. I could only find, should watch what I say. I only found 2 people in town that had sprinklers on, and I know them both. So we've had a conversation. One of them may be on the fire department, not our fire chief. One of them may be on the fire department, and we've had a conversation about it. He knows who he is. Had a conversation. And I'm going to say he's just trying to fire smart his property, but I don't believe it. So we've had a conversation. But overall, the community responded very positively. Like council had suggested they would. We put out a void alert, made it a little bit broader to include more information on it, to make sure that the community understood, like, this is a serious power outage, be aware. And then when everything does get brought back online, you will see issues and problems. But I'm going to say for the largest majority of the community, it was very positive. It was very positive. So yeah, I think that's the grateful part from that one person, who I may or may not name, depending on whether or not it gets me lynched this week. But no, for the overall majority of what we're seeing in the community, it was very positive. Yeah, thanks. The recreation centre has been working down at Conway Park. We have a whole new roof put on the area down there. We have new dugouts as well. So a new roof down there, there's new dugouts being brought in. They're fantastic. They're absolutely brilliant. These are the kind of small wins that we're getting now on, rather than on like a quarterly basis. We're starting to get these on the monthly basis now, where we're starting to ramp up a little bit more. These are the positive things that I think that the community will be seeing and really feeling. And these are the wins that we're getting now on monthly, which is fantastic. It's really nice to see that. You know, so yeah, all the kind of praise and glory can go towards the staff that are working on these things. They're doing fantastic things, day in, day out. Now, staff are bringing me stuff and sent back and saying this project's now complete. This one's the one we're working on next. So kitchens at the rec centre updated next. Updates for council chambers over at the City Hall. We're going to get started on very quickly. Yeah, there's some significant things that are kind of all starting to we're starting to see these things now come to fruition, which is fantastic. Obviously next week we're going to be away for a week. We're going to be in UPCM. We're going to be in Victoria for a week. It's going to be a very busy week next week, and we'll have a lot to report back in terms of it. Yeah, it's always busy. Like that, I don't think I had any tension. I'm sure that's me. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Okay,
That's all.
great. Thank you, and give our best to staff for all that they're doing.
Too.
Okay, let's go to 17.1. I'll hand it over to Councillor Aiken about the deer. Deer?
Yeah, I think I was a little nervous about bringing this one up, but I think it's everybody knows we have way more deer in town than we used to have. And it's becoming a problem. Like I hear, my friend's dog got killed by these deer. So I don't know, I know council or staff has been working with the conservation office, so I'm trying to manage it from their end, but I think it would be good for us to get the conservation office involved and maybe like getting that information out into the public, so the best practices and how we can manage this problem. It's a problem that's not going to go away. It's going to be getting bigger and bigger, just judging by the number of deer that are born in people's yards. They're all cute, and then all of a sudden roll around with people leaving with their cars, dogs are getting trampled. And I don't know, I just think we need to sort of be a little more proactive and educate the public if we can. My spiel on that there.
So you're looking at education for the public or,
Well, I think just for staff, we
Solutions.
go to the CO
okay,
office and then maybe we can put something in the paper that we put on the back page or something, just. Because a lot of people, I don't know what to do with the deer. We are, it used to be, let the dog go, the dog would chase it away, but now they're not going away. Let the dog go, the dog barks. Oh, so it's not running, so the behavior is definitely changing. I'm not an expert, but CO.
And I think next week at UBCM, you know, we need to talk to other communities like Princeton, who have a lot of deer problems and the curtains
Yeah,
to see if those people are, see what they're doing. Maybe they've come up with something that we haven't thought of.
yeah, I just think we need to do something about it. I don't know what, but yeah, I just. So I don't go trying to hold it. There's something I could have done, but prevented that maybe. Yeah, so
Okay, so again, you want staff to,
contact the CO's office and maybe have a best.
so you're
practice.
making a motion
Yes,
for staff to contact the.
Yeah.
And
provide information on how we can best manage the problem.
Thank you, so Mayor. So, in preparation, I just said to Connor, as our CEO, our conservation officer, I've included council on this email as well. So just any chance if I talk about here, I'm getting that dog unfortunately into capacity killed last week. I'm looking at a number of different ideas, thoughts, possibly looking into something from newspapers, Facebook, and then maybe have a technical consulting do a specific talk with it. So I just said that just now, just so that we can try and do. I know that the deer population, I think we've had this conversation a couple of times. I think it over 3 days, Councillor Aiken. The deer specialist actually lives in town, which is really good news. The conservation deer specialist lady lives in town for the province, which is fantastic for us. I think there's certain thresholds, explains numbers that we need to look at before they start looking into specifics. And I know that culls and ideas like that are always massively unpopular, but I know that they do look at potential birth controls and look at other things. There's a number of different triggers and things that we can have a discussion with. But I have sent an email over to Connor and I'll ask him to attend our next council meeting and see what we can try and do for the public and bring that back. But yeah, more than happy. This is one that comes round for us.
before you hit send, second, Councilor Aiken made the motion, so I just need a seconder and all in favor. Carried. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
I just want to make a comment. 2023, I think we had a conversation about deer culling and I think somebody did come. So I don't know if there's something back in the notes there as well on that. But yeah, there was brought in my notes here from August 15. We had correspondence about deer culling and I think we did bring something to the next meeting or asking to see somebody to come in and speak to us. Just to help.
Okay. 17.2, I wanted to pull this correspondence item because it's a film company that's planning on doing some film in British Columbia from October 8th to the 25th with particular interest in the region around Lillooet and its surrounding areas. They want this film to be told entirely through the voices of those who live in close relationships with the land, individuals whose memories and everyday experiences reflect both the beauty and natural world and the impact of the environmental change. So basically, they are asking for to contact us, and they have reached out to First Nations, and they want to contact us to just discuss if we can put them in contact with other people that might be able to, you know, contribute to this film. So I'd like the office to do that. And just see what they need, and if they would like to set up a meeting, I'd be willing to do that meeting, and I think we have some great historians in Lillooet that would serve them well. So that was it, that's all right. So I'll make that motion, and I just need somebody to second it. Sorry, Aiken, all in favor? Oh, sorry.
Okay, what exactly is the motion that?
Just that staff contact this person, and if they want a meeting, with me or with anybody else, then, you know, we'd be happy to meet with them and, like you said, and give them Wendy's name. Guys, would be great. You know, like that. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. I do have to say, it's somebody's birthday today. Happy birthday. Thank you. Questions?
At least you didn't ask me how old I am. I was worried about that question coming from you.
Oh.
Okay,
Just a number.
as part of the agenda. Madam Mayor, first question would be regarding UBCM. Do you have any particular ministerial appointments set up, or are you going to be reconvening the rural mayor's council on healthcare? Just I know there's always a very busy convention. What is on your agenda for that at this point?
Oh, the agenda is very packed. There is a few provincial meetings. We are going to be meeting with Interior Health. So Sylvia Weir is the new contact. She is the CEO for Interior Health. She replaced Susan Brown. So she reached out to me about a month ago and asked to meet. So her and Diane Shendrick will be there. And we've got a meeting set up for the Monday. Yeah, there's always a variety of clinics, and we all usually participate in different sessions, as you well know. And, you know, we try to not double up so we can gather the most information to share. But some clinics don't pertain to small communities, so sometimes we do have to double up, so that's all good. As for the Mayor's Rural Health Group that we formed last year, it is going strong. Minister Josie Osborne will be there along with 15 to 20 communities that have confirmed attendance. Josie got us a space in the Parliament building for Tuesday from 2:30 to 4 o'clock, so we'll be meeting with her. I am doing the finishing touches on the agenda. I thought it or not. But I'm doing the finishing touches on the agenda, and I'll send it out to all the mayors on Friday. And I have 3 speakers. Oh, gosh, did I do it? Bring that. Let's bring that. Maybe I did not. Yeah. I'm not gonna borrow it. But anyways, yeah, we have 3 speakers that will speak 3 different communities. One is Clearwater, one is Grand Forks, and I believe the other one is Tumbler Ridge.
Is where, sorry?
Tumbler Ridge.
Okay.
That one. And yes, and so they'll all get 5 minutes to say what's going on in their community. And then Josie will answer them individually. All of us sitting at the table will get 2 minutes to introduce and give just a brief overview of what's happening in their ERs, because the ER differences between, like, some of the communities have internal problems, some have nursing problems, some have physician problems. I know that Clearwater, they want to speak because their doctors are actually accepting locum jobs in other communities because the locums are paying more. So, you know, that's definitely an issue too. And I did bring you a copy of the program, just if you wanted to see it. Just for all of UBCM, but yeah, so I was really, really happy to get that meeting and, I think it'll go work good. Eventually, I'd like to give this whole rural health, committee over to UBCM, you know, but it's, they're, like, people are excited to be there, for sure. So,
Still on the issue of healthcare, so as discussed earlier tonight, we are getting these 3 new doctors and perhaps another one as well. Do you want to, can you give me a comment, summarizing what you think this community has been through in the last year and before, in terms of the uncertainty, the fear, the worry? Should we all feel relieved now? What would be your view on that? Because you've been such a strong advocate for the Lord.
I think that, the doctors have been fantastic, for sure. We've got a Band-Aid, as far as I'm concerned, right now. I mean, it's going good, because, yes, like I said, we have 3 new doctors coming. But I think the request of how many doctors we need for Lillooet is too high. I still have concerns about existing doctors that I've been working with Josie, with Minister Osborne on. Because if doctors are here for a long period of time, say 3 to 5 years, and we have 3 new doctors coming in, who gets their patient load? Like, how do they get their patient load? If these doctors already have all the patients, like, is there something that the province, it's a concern for me. So, you know, and then in 3 years, when all 3 doctors leave at the same time, you know, where's that gonna leave us? Are we gonna be back to where we were in the first 6 months with closures all the time? One thing I do know that has contributed to our hospital not closing down is they do have a signed contract now. And I understand that contract is pretty good. So that has made a difference. I think that our CAO in working with Interior Health, me working with Interior Health and the province, and a lot that I can't say because of reasons that were just issues that we really persevered through. I think things are better, and I think they will remain better for the future. 3 years and
Thank you on that. Couple of other comments. Inquiring minds want to know, I want to know what about Justin Trudeau at the airport. What does anybody know about that?
I know what to do.
Yeah, through the mayor, with Justin Trudeau we're still the Prime Minister.
Yeah,
He did land shortly just to be fueling a selfie. So I've been told at our airport. I'll need to confirm the time of day for it was, I believe it was last year. But he was here for a very, very short stop, but he was here, RCMP, and drive over, where it's to go your hand up there, make sure that you had a clear runway and then receive them, see them, and then just back out to keep it. So it has been on that capacity.
I'm going to report on that. Thank you. And you, to the CAO, you said the new economic development person is Tristan. I didn't get the name.
I'll provide his full name.
Okay. Okay. And what else did I have here? Okay. Daryl, welcome to Lillooet. I'm Wendy Fraser, the reporter for the Lillooet News.
Oh, okay.
And if you have time, I would like to do just a brief phone interview sometime this week, just to get a little bit more details to introduce you to the community.
That's fine, yeah.
Sometime tomorrow, would that work, or?
Yeah, I think tomorrow, yes, sometime, just give the office a call
Okay.
whenever time works for you.
Okay, I have another commitment in the morning as well, that keep me busy for at least an hour. And I just wanted to just follow up, to thank Mr. McCullough. He was extremely helpful in getting me in touch with somebody who could talk about the Nissan commercial. And if we ever decide we don't like guaranteed rugged, they gave me a really great quote about Lillooet. about why we were chosen, and the quote is, "It just screams Canada."
Oh.
They were looking for mountains and forests, and that's how they chose us. I was kidding about using it as a slogan,
But I gotta write
as
it
a
down,
brand,
don't forget it.
but, yeah, it just screams Canada. I thought that was very, very interesting that they said that after they'd scouted around here and there and everywhere, and this was the place they chose.
That's nice.
So those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out on your birthday.
Yeah.
Well, I missed the last few meetings, so
I
I
should have brought cupcakes or something.
Oh, then there'd be a controversy spending taxpayers' money.
I didn't say we were gonna spend them.
Oh. Anyways, thank you.
Questions from the public? We good?
Guys are doing a great job.
Okay, will somebody please move that the September 16th regular council meeting be adjourned? Counselor Reed, Counselor Fine, all in favor, carried. Job.
Thanks.
I thought.
Two.
I thought one was spending it.